I have to do this in my head. Very important, China already won. And one thing is very clear. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a Chinese car, okay? Keep that very clear. I'm here in my garage where I'm eventually going to set up a studio to record, to talk, to have conversations, for whatever. I've just started. But I just posted a video yesterday about the Geely Courier. It was the last one I posted about a Chinese car. But every time I post a video about a Chinese car, a bunch of people show up who haven't come out of the closet about cars, frustrated. And what I think is that it's a great ignorance. Not knowing what's happening in the world of cars, especially Chinese cars. I'm in the market looking at Chinese cars. I tell you that after 10 to 15 years of looking at Chinese cars, the first ones were real junk, real garbage. The comments on that last video are unacceptable. I say no, it's simply not right. And I want to make something clear to you because the fan base out there is really big. So, the automotive industry is moving fast and you're asleep, but asleep? It has taken the cars we've known all our lives for more than 100 years to become what they are today. It has taken the Chinese less than 20. Look at the speed they're going, but you guys are still arguing with me about whether a Chinese car is good or not. Meanwhile, Lipion is traveling in Bartos. And all my drivers are born in cities you can't even pronounce. Are you still obsessed with the 2005 Corolla your uncle had? This isn't a review, this isn't a test drive, this is what I call a warning. Because if you think the automotive world is still in the hands of the Japanese, of the Germans, my brother, you haven't understood anything at all. Exactly a decade ago, for example, Chinese cars were a real joke. I know they were. Badly assembled, unsafe, ugly. They were like the perfect piñata for the whole automotive industry. And the worst part is that everything people said about them was true. It wasn't a lie. They were really junk, not to say a real mess. Monsieur de la Grande put one very important thing. You and I criticized. We laughed at what the Chinese did. Take note, let's take note calmly, but taking note and in. Instead of getting offended, they evolved. They bought Volvo. They partnered with Mercedes. They manufacture electric cars for Europe. They designed their own platforms. And then everyone, including me, says no because they copied. No, they didn't copy. They absorbed. Not only did they absorb, they improved. And today, all those things that 10 years ago were memes and jokes, today they're serious competition. Now they're rivals. While you say they're no good, they're selling. All across the American continent, Chinese cars are selling like hotcakes. GG BYD, Shanghai, and Great Wall Motors. And they're not doing it by deceiving anyone. They're doing it because they work. That's why they sell. And even more so, because everyone is offering them. More for less. Well, what do I say to the person recording a Chinese car? They offer more for less. Do you want a curved screen, panoramic roof, automatic braking, turbo engine, overdrive, whatever you want? All for $10,000, less than a stripped-down Japanese car that imitates a German one. So listen to this carefully. And write this down. Welcome to reality, okay? And if you don't like it, don't watch. But don't say later that I didn't warn you, okay? I always warned you. And the main reason they don't come here to the United States is because they're scary. They're terrified of them. This is where things get interesting. So do you really know those cars aren't available in the United States because their entry would disrupt the entire market and cause everything to fall apart? It's not about quality, it's fear. Fear of losing control, fear of competing. Really? Can BYD sell you an electric Vesuvit for $25,000? Chang'an gives you sensors, gives you a turbo, gives you leather for what a Nissan Versa base costs here per hour. As a result, well, they threaten them that if they come in here, they'll make them 100% compliant. They block their software out of fear of what they say, that the Chinese are spying. Okay, the latest drone from DJI that I want to buy, I can't buy it here. For the same reason, they closed the accounts. It's not a free market, it's panic. Panic, because here all the brands always disappear. That's what's going to happen in Latin America, and in all the places they're entering, they're going to get rid of all the brands. All the brands will leave, only Chinese brands will remain. And while all the Chinese are evolving, the giants that have always been around for the last 100 years, what are they doing? They're shrinking and shrinking and shrinking more and more. Ford cuts back, General Motors cuts back, Toyota refuses to electrify, Honda fades away. The Koreans are becoming apprehensive as the Chinese have accomplished in 5 years what took the Koreans 30 years to achieve. That speed is not for everyone. This is no longer David versus Goliath, not at all. Goliath is asleep and David has a laser cannon in his hand, aiming. The saddest part is that it's not about the brand's actions. The notion that the cool car is bad simply crumbles on its own. They prefer to pay for what's familiar. All those phrases sound really strong on social media, but they dissolve into the air like smoke. Because they keep receiving and they keep selling, because we're attached to nostalgia, to that shield we have in front of us. In defense of the car, something we've known our whole lives. Nowadays, cars are no longer bought for their nationality, they're bought for efficiency, for their technology, for what they offer. And if you stay stuck, is judging people solely by their nationality perpetuating outdated narratives? Everyone else is going to drive the future. China not only dominates in assembly design, it dominates in what really matters today. What is liquid? Electronic battery cell? While you're still there arguing with me about whether a car has a battery or not, while all that's happening, they're building the skeleton and the soul of yours. Check out what you plan to purchase, a Tesla. You already buy a lot of things from China. Mercedes outsources in China. Apple is involved in China or looks over there. Do you want to know who leads this industry? It follows what's called silence. Don't follow the shield on your car hoods. And even less, I didn't sell out to anyone. I'm not paid by any brand. If my videos don't get views, I charge for them. I just want you to understand the situation. Another thing, to stop repeating what's no longer true because it's not true. Observe, compare, think, because while you're making fun, okay? And you leave comments like that on my videos. Others are handling all the technology for much less money. When you finally decide to embrace the future, it may have already departed in a Chang'an, Geely, or BYD vehicle. No company pays me. I work with independent dealerships, and they all have multiple brands. Everything has many brands. I test the cars that dealers give me, but I've never told you to buy a car from any specific dealer because that's not my job. Well, what I do sell is the truth from what I always see. Even if you man don't like it, my channel has never been for brand fanatics. I do everything I see and everything that exists, especially for people who look beyond a logo. And if you made it this far, it's probably because of one of those. Look at the comments people leave me. Every time there's a Chinese car, I have to test it all. I wish luxury cars would come out so I could test those too, just to see what people would say. I don't know when I'm going to finish this studio so I can record all kinds of things here, but I'll finish it eventually. The thing is, I'm really busy. I haven't been able to take care of this properly, but I will. So anyway, this isn't a scolding. This is a lesson about what's happening, because a lot of people live in the closet. Thank you for subscribing. See you next time.